of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. If you sense a little urgency in my voice, you're correct. We have a really jam-packed meeting tonight. We have speakers that are zooming in from back east later in the meeting, and we have the all-important presentations by our candidates. So the first item of business, and the only other vote that you'll be taking tonight is, I hope, is on the agenda, and we include in the agenda the items that are checkmarked because those are considered consent items for your information. And we adopt all of this at one time unless there's somebody who objects, which we haven't had anybody yet do that. So be forewarned. And this is a copy of our treasurer's report, which has a lot of good news at the bottom line. We're going into this year with almost $30,000 in the bank. So we will be able to really help some of our candidates. Okay, so I would like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Gary moved, who's second?
Second.
Patterson, thank you. All right. The only people who should be voting are paid members, and we know we have some guests, but that's okay. So will the paid members please indicate whether you approve or disapprove by saying aye if you approve and no if you don't. So let's have the ayes first. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Okay, so we have adopted the agenda. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have our speakers. And at the end of the speakers, you will be able to mark your yellow ballot. And I would like to encourage all of you, in addition to the mark you make for who we should support for CD40, that you also would fill out the items at the bottom, which is like a little survey. Okay, and you just put a check mark if it applies to you. It's real simple. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. And then after both speakers, you can fold your ballot in half. And we have two ladies who have ballot boxes who will be walking around the room, so you don't have to get up and run and go anywhere. When they get to your table, you can just simply put it in the ballot box. And then we have three of the officers of the club who are going to tally it while we go on with the meeting. And then we will put it on a big piece of chart paper and put it up whenever they're done, okay? All right, so is there any question about the procedures we're following? Okay, then please be respectful of our speakers, find a seat and hold down the talking and the chit chat until our speakers are done. Allison, are you ready to time her? Yeah. Yep, okay. Janet is our timer, and you can walk around.
Okay.
But stay in this general.
Janet, let me know when you're ready. Okay. Thank you, Canyon Dems, for having me tonight. I'm so incredibly grateful to be here, but I'm also grateful for your time. I know that there must be many other things that you could be doing, and the fact that you're so involved in this race, I'm incredibly grateful. My children are grateful. My name is Allison Muniz Demichelis, and I grew up in a Hispanic family. I'm one of four. I'm the oldest. You'll figure that out by the end. And I'm the only daughter. And it was chaotic. My childhood was not easy. I was on free and reduced lunch at times. And it was pretty early on in my life that I realized that education could be the pathway to better opportunities and the American dream. So I earned a chemical engineering degree from Cal Poly Pomona. And outside of that, I did environmental work. I cleaned up hazardous waste sites. I wrote stormwater plans, and in fact, I was on some pretty crazy projects in the middle of Death Valley. And during that time, I met my husband. We've been married for 23 years, and we have 3 children. Thank you. And my husband is also an engineer, and no surprise, our 20-year-old son is at Purdue, also studying engineering. And so, but what we didn't expect is that 2 of my daughters would be born with a rare metabolic condition. My older daughter was not expected to make it past an 8-year-old intellectual level. And my younger daughter almost lost her life a few times, actually. And so I did not go back to work. I fought for them. I fought for them not to just to stay alive, but I wanted them to reach their full potential. And I knew it was there. And so today, my older daughter is 18 years old and is a National Hispanic Merit Scholar and a 4.6 GPA student. Thank you. And my younger daughter is a very sassy, smart, and maybe the death of me 13-year-old daughter, truthfully. But it was my work with them and their schools that I realized that about half of my community was not being advocated for. That truly worked out to about 13,000 students. I watched the resources be moved from one part of our community to another. And in fact, I was angry. I was a mother, I was angry, and I recognized myself in some of those students. And so I decided to run for school board in a 6-point Republican seat against a 24-year incumbent. And like a few times in my life, I was told I was never going to be able to do that. I wasn't going to win. It was a waste of my time. She had been run against 6 times before. Nobody even had gotten close to her. So I did what I always do. I worked incredibly hard, and then I beat her by almost 10 points. Thank you. And 8 months after I was elected, I was attempted to be recalled out of that seat by MAGA extremists. And everything you see on TV, the Proud Boys, January 6th insurrectionists coming to my school board meetings, they told me that they were going to come with an army to come get me. So we put more security in my house. We stopped my daughter from scootering to school by herself. And we held strong, and I held back that recall. I beat it back. I told them, I'm not moving, I'm not going, we're going to fight for this. And right after I did that, we've done some of the most incredible work in Tustin Unified. Today, I'm the president of that school board, me, and I call it the team of 4 other men. And so it's me and the guys. And I think some of the work that we have done is made sure that our kids get the resources they need so that they can also realize their full potential and reach the American dream. Some of the things I'm really proud about is making sure that they have resources that they have never seen before. Single mothers have support, kids have support in our reading and math scores. Likely will be the highest growth in Orange County in the next 2 to 3 years. The achievement gap is closing in this district. Not only that, I have been able to negotiate a 13% raise for our teachers and our classified employees, also the highest raise in Orange County. Thank you. But it's that work that I want to bring to Congress. This district needs an advocate who truly cares about the people who live here. This district needs an advocate who makes sure that understands the diversity of this district. This district needs somebody who's willing to fight for them. This district needs somebody who understands what our neighbors are going through, but also understands what our smallest kids are going through and families. And that's why I'm running for Congress. I'm running for Congress to codify Roe versus Wade. My daughters, and truthfully, my daughters could lose their lives if they became pregnant. I fought my entire life to keep them alive, and then some politician's going to tell me that they're not going to be able to live anymore because they can't decide what to do with their own bodies. That's insane. Also, we need to do something about common sense gun safety laws. I'm tired as a school board member and as a mother worrying every single day. We've got to get assault rifles off of our streets. Thank you. We've also got to pass things like universal background checks. And lastly, we really have to address affordable living. We need to figure out how we're going to get affordable housing. We need to figure out how we're going to do healthcare for everyone. And at a minimum, I think Medicare should cover things like hearing aids, especially since I take care of my 75-year-old mother, and this is a constant everyday thing we talk about. But in order to do that, we have to flip this seat. And the seat's going to be hard to flip. It's been hard to flip before, right? And you're going to need a candidate that can really be able to go against young Kim in the way that she needs to be essentially flipped, right? And how do we do that? I've already shown you that I can win in a Republican district, not once, but twice. I've faced a MAGA recall, right? I've done this twice now. Also, I've outraced in this Democratic field by far. This is not going to be a cheap race. It's a $4 to $6 million race. Why is it so expensive, you ask? Because we have to get our message out to voters, and that's how much it's gonna cost to be able to get mail and TV. That's not something you can loan yourself, at least I know I can't. You have to raise that money. I've raised from over 1,800 donors from over 300 zip codes. Also, as the engineer in the room, as the one doing the math, we're not just gonna be able to pull some of the Republicans to be able to beat this seat. We have to get out young voters. We have to get out voters of color. And that's why I'm incredibly proud to say that I've earned the endorsement of the California Young Democrats and the Orange County Young Democrats, as well as I'm uniquely qualified to speak to the almost 25% Hispanic communities in this district as a Hispanic woman that grew up in that kind of environment. That'll allow me to bring out those type of voters, as well as I'm already endorsed by Bold Pack and many other Hispanic organizations. And lastly, I have also earned the endorsement of the largest union in the United States, the National Educators Association. I'm incredibly proud of that. Thank you. And other people that are going to help me, like Emily's List and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. So all of those reasons are the reasons, though, why I've earned the endorsement from the Anaheim Democrats, to the Democrats of North Orange County, to the Central Orange County Democrats, to the Laguna Woods Democrats here in the South. Those are the reasons why I have those clubs endorsement, because they realize that I can beat Young Kim. And to be honest with you, Young Kim sees me as her opponent. She talks about me in her fundraising emails. And in fact, she even refers to me in Twitter in ways that, like talking about schools today and yesterday. But truthfully, if there's anybody who's the most important people in the room, it's you. It's actually not me. It's you. Because you'll get to decide whether we flip this seat. You all get to decide if we're worth fighting for. You get to decide if yourselves are worth fighting for, if your neighbors are worth fighting for, and if our children are worth fighting for. And if we do this, and we get an advocate for this district, someone who's willing to fight for the diversity and the authenticity of the people who live here, and I want you guys to imagine, and we get a Democratic House majority, imagine what we can do. Then we can start fighting for the 385 million people across this country. They get a government that actually works. And then what do we get to do for the Ukrainians? And then what do we get to do about peace around this world? And then we can maybe be the beacon of democracy that we have always been. And so together we can flip this seat. It's going to be hard work, but we can do it together. We truly can. From a national level, we have seen as a targeted seat. The rest of the people in the country are depending on us to do this. We can do it together. With your help, I know that we can get it done, just like we've done incredibly hard things before. Thank you so much. I hope to earn your support tonight.
Thanks, Louise. Thanks, Allison. Thank you very much, Canyon Dems. My name is Joe Kerr. I did renew just a little bit ago as a Canyon Dem. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It's a good crowd, the biggest crowd I've seen so far. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about the issues, a little bit about the district, and then a little bit about how we win, because that's why you're here. You want to flip this seat. You want to take back the house, take back your lives. Joe Kerr, I'm retired fire captain, Orange County Fire Authority, 34 years. As the first president of the Orange County Firefighters Association. Get back to that in a little bit. So vice president for the California Firefighters. I was vice president for the Orange County Labor Federation, 270,000 members. I was a district field rep for the International Association of Firefighters, representing firefighters in the Southwest United States on collective bargaining, political action, legislation, organizing the unorganized and affiliating the affiliated. Governor Davis appointed me to the Workforce Investment Board of Directors, and Governor Newsom appointed me to the California Water Quality Control Board, Region 8, where I left as vice chair, went after serial polluters, and instead of them being chased around by my staff for 5-6 years, we upped the ante from $5,000-$6,000 fines to $1 million fines to go after the serial polluters that are polluting your water and your aquifers and your environment. A little bit about me and a little bit of the history. When I became the president of the Firefighters Association, Republican Governor Pete Wilson took away our deferred comp, our retirement, and then he tried to lay off 50% of your firefighters and privatize your paramedics, which means you would have to pay for your paramedics as well as your ambulance. It costs you an extra $2,000 to $3,000 every time you dial 911. We were able to fight that. When he stole our deferred comp, I was a new president, didn't really know what to do. So I called the White House, 202-555-1212. I asked to speak to the guy who lived there. I didn't know what else to say. I was a little embarrassed to ask for the president. And I kept getting transferred to people younger and younger, interns. I gave a speech to the National Firefighters Legislative Congress, and I said, look, if they could steal our retirement, New York City, they could steal yours. And Barbara Boxer heard the speech, and she said, if the president doesn't help, I'll help. And President Clinton in 1996, in his Budget Omnibus Act, he signed protection for all public employees to protect the deferred comp 457 plans. So everybody in the United States now has that protection. We learned that we had to get legislatively involved. So we worked with 5 governors and 2 presidents. We got 200 bills signed. Every one of them was bipartisan. Getting a bill signed in Sacramento is a lot easier than getting a bill signed in Washington. I can introduce a bill in January, get it to the floor, get it through committees, get it to the governor's desk by October, and it's a law by the next January. Congress is a little bit tougher. But I did work on national legislation for your urban search and rescue teams that go to 9/11, that go to Katrina. We did work on legislation for firefighters killed in the line of duty, etc. And in this district, we're going to need a little bit of that. We got Medicare, we got Social Security that needs to be funded. When our firefighters, I was losing firefighters left and right, your firefighters, your first responders, 87% of which died from cardiac cancer. The median age is 59 and a half. So we decided to create our own healthcare trust. And we were told by elected officials, Democrats and Republicans, it's impossible. You can't create your own healthcare trust. So I said, then watch me fail. So we took over healthcare for our first responders, their families, our retirees. In the first year, we gave back $2 million of your taxpayer money. $2 million of money just creating a healthcare trust because they said it couldn't be done. And then last year, that same model, we gave back $7 million in healthcare money back to the taxpayers. I worked on the County of Orange, lost all of their vehicle license fee money to the state. They sued Governor Brown. They lost twice. Every time you register your car, that money goes to the state, and some of it's supposed to come back. They lost 100% of that money. And so they asked me to negotiate with Governor Brown. We did, spent a lot of time with him. He says, if you get it through both houses, get it past my staff, get it to my desk, I'll sign it. That has been $500 million so far in new taxpayer money we brought back. And why do I bring that up? I bring that up because young Kim just put out a press release saying she brought $22 million back to the district. $22 million. She's spending that on unlawful flyers going out right now that look like campaign ads. My team and I, and it wasn't just me in the room, it was a large coalition of very smart people, brought back $1.5 billion to the County of Orange and your Orange County Fire Authority that now protects 2 million people in 23 cities. So we passed 200 pieces of legislation. Like I said, everything was bipartisan. A little bit about the issues. You know most of the issues. Right now, this is about taking back democracy. They used to say that as a bumper sticker, but it's really true. You only have to watch January 6 tapes and know that the peaceful transition of power is what makes this country great. It is about codifying Roe v. Wade. It was there for 50 years and they didn't codify it. It's time to bring that back. If we lose the House and we lose the presidency, California is not going to be a safe state. My son was IVF. My son Joey's 20. He's going to fire classes right now to be a firefighter. And he's in vitro fertilization. Without Roe v. Wade, we wouldn't have my son. Gun issues. We've already had 2 mass shootings in this district. As a first responder, I can tell you how bad those incidents are. I've been on a lot of shootings. Mostly it was gang and sometimes just individual. But there's a lot more than the victim who is deceased. The people who are injured, sometimes those injuries are incredibly life-altering. And then your first responders. Your first responders right now are taking their lives at a higher level than are being killed in the line of duty across the country. So there's a ripple effect when we have these shootings. So common sense gun safety is something young Kim's opposed to. There's a bipartisan universal background check law out there right now, and she refuses to sign on. She is not pro-choice. She's not pro-climate. She's not pro-common sense anything right now. The district. You know a little bit about the district. It's 3.6% red. but it's the fastest trending red to blue district in the state of California, to make you feel good. It's a big district. It's trending red to blue. So that makes this one of the top 5 seats to take back. One of the top 5 in California and one of the top 14 across the country. So it's an important race right now. Now, how do we win? Well, we win in a lot of different ways. Number one, Joe Biden won this seat, this district by precinct in 2020. He won it by 2 points. How do I win this race? This is a D+40 race for the NPPs. What does that mean? The no political party folks, the decline to state folks, the folks who don't like either party, they lean blue. They lean blue D+40. That far surpasses Young Kim's 20,000 vote lead. It's huge. How do Democrats win? Democrats win with union support. Democrats win with union support, with endorsements, and with fundraising. And we are pushing $1 million in my campaign. We're going to have a very robust campaign. But I asked Katie Porter when she endorsed, how did you win against Mimi Walters? I mean, Mimi was stable. She was there a long time. She goes, it's simple. Don't listen to your consultants. You walk, you knock, you win. You walk, you knock, you win. So my team has canvassed 60,000 homes so far. We've knocked on 60,000 doors in the district. We will knock on every door in the high pro Democrats and NPP voters before Election Day. You walk, you knock, you win. We have the endorsement of the Orange County Labor Federation. It's 270,000 members. The State Federation of Labor, 2.2 million members. We have the endorsement of the firefighters nationally. AFSCME, 1.6 million members. AFSCME said we're backing 2 people in the primary, Joe. A guy named Joe Biden and you. So we're counting on them to weigh in big. And that'll be the AFL-CIO, 12.5 million members. -1 union, that's not bad. We're looking pretty good. We have the endorsements of Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, Mike Levin, Lou Correa. We have the endorsement of every congressional Dem delegation around the district. Senator Min, Senator Newman. We have the endorsement of former Governor Jerry Brown. We also have the endorsement of former Governor Gray Davis. And before I got here, I got a phone call, and we just got the endorsement from Governor Gavin Newsom, just about 15 minutes before I showed up. And we're happy about that. We appreciate that. Gavin may be running for president in 2028. So he needs W's around him, and his team vets it. I wish I knew what that number said. Okay. So we're on the right track. And the reason we're on the right track is because this room is standing room only. So Canyon Dems, I remember when you guys started, you said you could have a meeting in a phone booth. And now you guys are looking amazing. I'm very honored to be a member of the Canyon Dems, very honored to be a candidate for Congress, and I'm very honored to ask for your support this evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Okay, mark your ballots. And Barbara and Tommy, where's Tommy? Somebody get Tommy. Okay, stay in your seat. You don't need to get up to vote. Just stay where you are. We're way too crowded here for everybody to be getting up, moving around at one time, okay? So here's one ballot box, and here's the other one. Barbara, you work this side. No, if you get your ballot when you come in. Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't have a ballot, you're not gonna get to vote. Okay. All right, let me go on with the meeting. Okay. Ask Ann if she wants to come up. Somebody back there. Chris, can you ask Ann if she wants to come up?
Okay, thank you. Attention up here, please. Oh, so sweet. So tonight, we started out with 234 members, but after our big line outside, I think we have, much more than that now. And I need your attention, folks. I know you're seeing people and you love to visit with them, but we need your attention up here. Thank you. You can tell I was a school teacher, right? Anyway, so I know that number has jumped tremendously tonight because a lot of you came in and we knew. So thank you so much for that. We also have been sending out renewal letters. You might have gotten 2 emails this month saying that you've been a member last year, you need to renew again because as of January, we have a new calendar year and
Stay in your chair.
and our membership goes from January to the end of December. So it doesn't matter if you join in June. Every January, you have to renew. We carry over from October 1st into next year. Anything before that, you have to renew again in January, just to clarify that. Okay, so our, right now, January is our blood donor month. You can still go to Saddleback Hospital and sign up to donate. So I hope you all do that and take your picture and post it on Facebook so we can see you giving blood with your Canyon Dems t-shirt on. And next month, we're going to be supporting the student marketplace at Silverado High School. This is a food bank that is there every Friday afternoon from 12 to 3. And students from all these schools in Saddleback Valley School District that are under the McKinney-Vento Act, which is an act that identifies homeless students and nearly homeless students qualify to come there for food. And so I work there personally about 2 Fridays a month. It's wonderful. And things they need are deodorant, sanitary pads, shampoo and conditioner, disposable razors, and toothpaste are the #1 things. So if you'd like to bring those next month, we'll make a nice hearty donation to them. Okay.
All right, I'm next. Okay, so as you know, we're going to be doing a drive-by canvas in the canyons to support the election of Nancy Watkins for the Orange County School Board. There's a sign up now that if you want to help with that, to be either a driver or somebody who jumps out of the car and takes it up to the door and hangs it on the doorknob, that would be great. So that will help us to flip that Orange County School Board, which is, you know, it's MAGA city up there. I mean, it's really terrible. So we got to do something about that. And that's one of the activities of the field team. Okay. All right. Just so you know, you got your packet in the mail from the state this week, and the election times are up here. The final day to vote is March 5th, but the important date is February 5th. That's when ballots hit the mailboxes, okay? So you need to be talking to all your neighbors, all your friends, all your relatives, getting them geared up, and we will be posting on our website who's endorsed and who's supported so that you can pass that along to everybody who's going to vote, okay? The other important thing is you have to be registered to vote. And so people go, oh, well, I missed the registration deadline. Right, except the minute the vote center is open, you can walk into a vote center, register to vote, and vote same day. So there is no reason for somebody to use registration as an excuse for not voting. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay. Important stuff. Where is Marty? Here. You need to be right here. Last call for ballots. Everybody's balloting. There's one more ballot.
Hello, Canyon Dems. And hello, Canyon Dems friends. We're so glad you're all here. This is amazing. I wish we had this turnout every time. We get almost as many, but not quite. Okay, so I'm the chair of the fundraising committee. And we usually put fun, F-U-N, in all caps, because that's what we do. We have fun. One of our programs that our friend Walt Lawson started for us is called the Sustaining Donors Program. And it's for people who are able to give a little bit more than their membership would be. It's an extra $1 or $2 or 100 every month. And whatever you can manage. And just because of that program, which is very simple, you sign up on Act Blue, you can either make a one-time donation or you can make it monthly, so it doesn't hurt as much. We have raised $13,897 from that program alone. So if you're a sustaining donor, will you please stand up so we can talk for you? Look at this. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the rest of you could just go on Act Blue tonight, right now on your phone, and become a part of this amazing group. So far in 2024, and we're only 23 days in, I should know that because in 2 more days, I'm gonna be a year older, but we've already raised 17,000. No, that's not right. Oh, I know. Wait a minute, that's amazing. No, $1,723 from 53 donors. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. We've also got a new program, thanks to Andy Alexander, called Change for Change. And we all know how heavy our purses get, or guys, your pockets get, with all that pesky coinage in there. So do yourself a favor, lighten your load, and put the coins into the little receptacle that Andy has in the back. Andy, raise your hand so they'll know where to, there's the jar right there. Wow, it's really full. That's amazing. And Andy belongs to a credit union where she could dump it all into a little machine and they'll just give her a voucher or something. We're just gonna make this an extra thing so that if there's something that comes up and we need a little something, we'll have extra money to do it. So thank you for the idea, Andy, and for handling that. Yay, Andy. It all goes towards registering Democrats. We also have our opportunity drawing tonight. Did everybody get a ticket who wanted a ticket?
No.
Everybody got it? No, we have people over here, Kathy.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time.
No, we don't. I know, but if we have to do that after, we can do that after. We'll just continue this and go on. We are having a fiesta with Fiona. Fiona Ma is coming to talk to us on March 2nd, 2024. And we're going to have a lovely Mexican brunch and mimosas, of course, and some Mexican beer. It's a fundraiser. The tickets are available online. You want to get them early. We have a limit of about 50 people. We've already sold some, so you don't want to be locked out of that. She's our state treasurer, and she's going to be running in the next election cycle when Gavin Newsom is done and Eleni Kounalakis, who also came and spoke to us. She's going to be running for lieutenant governor. So we want to make sure that we know all about her and see what she's all about so we can decide what we want to do. And then, at our next meeting, general meeting at 5:45, we're going to have chili and cornbread for you. So I know a lot of you people either don't have time to eat on the way, come right from work or whatever, or maybe you just don't feel like cooking on a Tuesday. Come and join us, $10, and we'll have chili, cornbread, and soft drinks, okay? So thank you, Canyon Dems. Let's go blue, Orange County.
And I also have an announcement because we have people who are in our club, and I know there are people here who are running to serve on the Central Committee. And my own assessment is that committee needs all the help it can get. So Ted Pearl, where's Ted? Raise your hand. Ted is running in the 72nd Assembly District. And then running in the 71st Assembly District, which is Mission Viejo, Rancho Santa Margarita, and the Canyons, is Gary and Kimberly Emilio, both of them. Deborah Sternick. Sudi, where's Sudi? There you go, Sudi. Linda, where's Linda May? There you are, Linda May, and Perry Mead. And of course, they all wanted to stand up and tell you how important the Central Committee is, but there's no time, okay? I am so sorry. Who is?
No, the 74.
74.
oh, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Alan Petting, 8074.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. Oh, Stephanie, yes, go ahead.
Actually, Bethany. So
Bethany.
Bethany's my other name, but everybody hears, but it's Bethany with the B, and I'm in the 72nd.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna try and do a little miracle here because we have people waiting in a waiting room to speak to us and I gotta get them connected. And actually, the program committee does this to see how far they can push me before I go straight over the edge. Okay, now I gotta find the, oh, this is our speaker for February. So you can read that. And I'm gonna go on to, these are our speakers, Asha O'Neill and Alicia Johnson. Okay, and just to save time, I've got to get out of this. Hold on. Stay with me. Okay.
Okay, Karen, you're right, we're keeping the rain. Okay. I can arrange it with the information.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
This is the problem of trying to connect through the internet.
I don't think there's anything shut in. A lot of the companies that do all that stuff. So, yeah, because I mean, I would have done a shared one. About. I go down.
I'm gonna try another way.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys start to coordinate it out. And I think it's just gonna went out. And you're gonna want to take it. Lined up in office. Then very hard to get at. You actually have to walk over the office back to see yeah, but you will still have to walk out. Yeah, you have to walk out. Then you should. As they were kind of hard to get.
Hi. Can I have your attention? I think we've got the folks here. I'm gonna take myself out of this if I can. Let's see if we can move it there. Okay, Kurt, would you like to introduce these ladies for us? Can you hear us, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, can you speak so we know if you're working, if your sound is working? Speak up. Say hello. Okay.
Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I want to say is you're going to be inspired. What you're going to hear is an essay or part of an essay from a from a high school student who is addressed the issue of separation of church and state, something she experienced personally as a young child. The person who will introduce her is from a nonprofit that sponsored a national essay contest. So, Leisha, I'm going to let you describe your organization, and then you can introduce Aisha.
Fabulous. Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia. As you heard, I'm here to introduce a really powerful young advocate for church state separation. I'm on the team here at Americans United for Separation of Church and State, which is a nonprofit educational and advocacy group that fights for the rights of all people to believe or not as they choose, so long as they don't harm others. And we bring together people of all religions and none across the country to fight in courts, in Congress, communities all over the country, and ensure that we protect everyone's freedom to believe and all of our equality to live as ourselves. And as her mentioned, part of what I get to do as our student network manager is run an annual student contest. And we invite young people from across the country to submit their ideas about why church state separation matters to them. We get hundreds of submissions. And in 2023, we selected prize winners for both essays and videos, and high school and college students. So tonight, we're lucky to hear from one of those winners, our first place high school essay contest winner. And if you've read the essay, you know that Aisha is an incredible writer. This essay wove together her own personal experiences with the history and the current context of the fight for church state separation in this country, and really made a powerful case for her vision for what our country could look like and feel like to live in, as ourselves, to believe as we choose that church state separation is protected. And so I'm really excited now to just give the floor to her to share with us why church state separation matters to her.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Alicia, and for all of your work that you do with Americans United. So as you might have read in my essay, I grew up in Zion National Park. My father worked there as a park ranger, so I lived there until I was 9 years old, and I loved where I lived. I had this little stone house that sat in the foothills of the street wall, which is this super impressive slab of sandstone that has black stains etched kind of like claw marks on its sides. And of course, my front lawn was surrounded by a panorama of red, orange, and white crests, which occasionally touched the clouds. I believe that Zion is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It is also one of the most Mormon places on earth. I looked this up, and according to recent US Census data, around 60% of Utah's population is Mormon. So I grew up Jewish in a town where the closest synagogue was 3 hours away and in a different state. In my essay, I wrote about this conflict over choir performance, in which my parents found it reasonable to include 1 or 2 Hanukkah songs in the school's annual Christmas concerts, while the school administration believed that religious schooling was one of the most important parts of a child's education and that the Jews killed Jesus. So while that is a really extreme example of religious intolerance, it wasn't an isolated experience. I lived in a world where religion was part of daily life, and examples of religious intolerance were everywhere. I didn't really notice it though, because I was too young. So I really became aware of the issue of religious intolerance when I moved away from Zion. When I was 9, I moved to Tucson, Arizona. And I was old enough then to recognize that the swastika carved on a cactus pad in the neighborhood across the street from my home, I knew that that was wrong. I knew that when a boy in my 7th grade science class wrote his name as the Jews in a game of Kahoot, so that the game would program to say, the Jews are on fire, I knew that that was wrong too. And Arizona is much less religious than Utah. According to the Pew Research Center, 49% of adults in Arizona say that religion is not very important in one's life. But it was there, in a place that was relatively secular compared to where I had lived before, that I began to recognize the impact religious intolerance had on my own life and the lives of those in my community. I think it was when I was a little bit older, probably once I had moved to Durango, Colorado in my sophomore year of high school, that I began to realize how religious influence does not just exist in my own life, but in the public sphere at large, especially in politics. That has held true throughout American history. Since the Mayflower Compact, which set a precedent of church-state separation in colonial America, to modern day, where "In God We Trust" was recently upheld by a vote of Congress, which occurred in 2011. So throughout those over 250 years of history, we have not held true to our ideal of church-state separation, and that has a huge impact on America's politics. In debates over everything from abortion to LGBTQ+ rights, it's hard not to hear arguments that a woman shouldn't have an abortion because it was God's will for her to become pregnant, and what right does she have to go against God's will? Or that God made a person be born the gender that they were born, so what right does that person have to go against the gender that God chose for them? Or that it was God's will for a man to marry a woman, so what right does a woman have to marry another woman, or a man another man? And while it seems a bit more abstract, that holds true in other issues as well. In things like climate change, religious fatalism makes it easy to say that God made the world as it is. So what right do we have, mere mortals, to make it the way we wish it to be? So I'm not saying that religion is bad, because it's not. Religion creates a community, and we need communities now more than ever. I'm just saying that religion cannot be mixed with politics, or else we can't create progress on any of those issues I mentioned, or any of the pressing issues that face our society today. I wish I could say that this was the fault of a political party, that if you're a Democrat, you're automatically on the right side of this issue. But that's not really true. Since 1973, both Democratic and Republican politicians have used the phrase, "God bless America," 49 times in major speeches. That God they're referring to must be a Christian God, because I never hear names like Adonai or Allah on a president's lips. So in repeating that phrase and constantly referencing this Christian God, presidents are alienating a growing minority of the American public and allowing the broader American public to do the same. So that's why I submitted an essay to the AU Student Essay Contest, because America's lack of church-state separation makes our politics inhospitable, both to outsider politicians and to progressive legislation, but also because I believe that can change. I do believe that we can create a world where, as I wrote, God is never written beside the American flag, where among the desperate battles of politics, culture remains something sacred, untarnishable, and unspoken. Each of us has a role to play in creating that world. So after this presentation today, I hope you will consider how you can help us to fashion a world where none of our grandchildren, none of our great-great-grandkids are forced to reckon with the injustice of an elementary school fire performance. Thank you.
questions? Sure. It's very, I know it's very late where you are. What time is it where you are?
It's 8 p.m.
So it's only an hour. I gotta look it up.
I want to hear some of what you're saying.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. We'll do this in a minute. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. Are there questions that we can ask? Anybody? Yes.
What website can I get to hear that speech?
Is her speech up on the Americans United website?
It's on the back of your agenda.
You can read Aisha's essay and all our winners at au.org/student contest. I put that in the chat in case it's helpful to share later, but au.org/student contest.
Okay.
Thank you.
And of course, we're recording, Jim Bass is recording, and eventually we'll get it up on our website. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, you're all waiting.
I was
Yes.
just gonna say, how many students do they annually get entering, and do they have different age levels when they vote on them?
So how many students actually apply to Americans United?
Sure, yeah. This year, we opened it up for the first time beyond, we used to do just high school juniors and seniors. And we usually see about 300 submissions a year. This year we opened up to all high schoolers and college students, and we saw a huge jump to 900 submissions. So lots of students interested in this topic. And we do 2 separate prize categories, one for high school and one for college.
Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Okay, so now the part you're all waiting with bated breath for. Let me get out of this. You're most welcome. Okay, I haven't seen this. We're all gonna look
They can
at
only
it.
see her.
They can only see this. Hurry
I can't see it. Somebody read it to me.
Allison 53 votes,
Joe,
Joe
64
64 votes.
Okay.
I didn't hear, what was it? 64 to 53. Joe concurred.
What's the threshold?
Okay,
What's the threshold for it?
60%.
Okay, that means neither of them got.
That's
neither
right.
candidate got enough for endorsement.
Right.
So the threshold is 60%.
You have to have 60%.
You might want to turn that down before you turn the mic on.
Okay. Pardon? We have to do the drawing, yes.
And you may need to.
That's gonna
turn
feed
the
back.
volume on the, speaker.
Yes.
I'd like everyone to know that they are on the ballot on March 5th, and it's a one and done. It is not a primary. So you have to make sure that you go down to vote for one of them, because this is not a primary.
What are you talking about? Who's not a primary? No, that is absolutely wrong. It is, you're right, but for the wrong race. Okay, it is the case for the Orange County Board. Oh, damn. For the Orange County School Board, it is not the case here. Whoever wins here, the top 2 will go on. So they're in a race with Young Kin. There are 3 people on the ballot or more, even, I'm not sure. But the top 2 go on. So it is possible that both Allison and Joe could go on. And then we'll be back revisiting all of this. Okay. All right, we're not turning this down. Okay, the first one is 714-733. 733. Yay! Okay, 250-995. 955, yay. Got it. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, there's a lot of literature on the table. Please take what you would like and share it with your friends and neighbors because it's probably gonna go in the trash if you don't take it. Okay, thank you very much. I'm done. I'm cooked. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, one more thing. All right. Come on, Sarah. We have one more announcement. Okay. I'm sorry. What? Stay over here. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. We're writing thank you cards for voters. I know we haven't voted yet, but once we get the election results, we're gonna, can you hear me now? Yep. Okay, we're gonna write thank you cards for voters. We're gonna target first-time voters and people who don't vote often in primaries to kind of encourage them to come to our meetings and also, yay, you voted, vote again. So if you guys want to participate, well, next meeting we'll be writing them during the meeting, but I also have card kits over here. You pick one up and you've got till the end of February to write them.
Okay, so see her over here to pick up cards that you can write at home and bring back to the meeting. Okay, anything else that I forgot? Thank you very much. See you later.
Everybody. Everybody, you too.